This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
It has finally come to light that YouTube is going to be changing some major things soon. People are terrified at these changes, and I've talked about some of them on the streams before, and some of them I haven't. What I'd like to do is very briefly just give you a summary of what I've learned, and let you know what I think it means for us, okay? First of all, as you guys know, I only use YouTube as an archive. I don't put out original content on YouTube anymore. My YouTube channel, DsP Gaming, is where I put up my archived streams. So if you miss a stream, you head over to DsP Gaming, you can get caught up on the playthrough, okay? That's how I use YouTube. I used to be a full-time YouTuber where my focus was YouTube. It hasn't been so for 2.5 years, okay? So, the truth of the matter is, YouTube falling apart, does it negatively affect me? Of course it does. I've got thousands of people that follow my playthroughs on YouTube on a daily basis, and they'd be very disappointed if something very bad were to happen to my YouTube channel, okay? That being said, YouTube is a very, very small portion of my income at this point. It is still a chunk, but it's a very small chunk compared to what it used to be. So, when I hear these horror stories that YouTube is falling apart and it's going to be completely changed soon, and it might, you know, everyone might be negatively affected, I'm kind of like, it sucks, absolutely. But it's not, for me, it's not like, oh no, the sky is falling, because, you know, as long as streams continue to go well and, you know, people are supportive on the streams, to me, I don't think it's that huge of a deal. But I can certainly understand for those who still make almost their entire living on YouTube, or, in this case, what we're about to talk about, people who don't make a living at all on YouTube, maybe insanely negatively affected. And maybe you actually might be negatively affected, okay? And I'm just going to explain. Alright? So, first of all, everybody, the first major change that's apparently coming to YouTube, and this is right around the corner, is that YouTube is going to remove the ability to monetize videos that have been deemed to be created for children's consumption. And you might say, what does that mean? It means that if you make a video on YouTube that is specifically catered towards children under a certain age, you'll no longer be able to monetize that video whatsoever. This means, like, for example, remember that kid who has a channel and all he does is unbox toys and the kid's like a millionaire now? Yeah, he can't monetize his videos anymore. Like, no lie, that's done. Those days are over, according to this new change to YouTube. Now, there's a few things about this. First of all, people are afraid because they're like, well, what's going to be deemed a gameplay video, or not a gameplay video, but a video for a child? You know, what's going to be deemed that my content is made for children? What about people who play just Nintendo games? Are those deemed just for children? What about people who only play Minecraft? Does that mean those videos are deemed just for children? You can no longer monetize those videos? Because if so, obviously people are terrified if that's what they do. What's going to happen to their channels? Okay? Right? Now, in the case of the kid who makes the unboxing videos of the toys, I don't think that kid's in any danger. He has insane amount of sponsorship money coming in from all these toy companies, so he can still continue to make the videos and get paid per video, even if he doesn't have ads on them. But for someone who maybe plays Nintendo games, plays Minecraft, but maybe even Fortnite would be considered a children's game at this point, right? What happens if you make your living as a YouTuber and now they just deem overnight, well, that's children's content and you can't monetize that anymore. Now, if you want to know why this is happening, it's because YouTube got sued, okay, by the FCC. Now, what is the FCC? It's the Federal Communications Commission. In the United States, it's a regulatory body that has these rules and regulations in place when it comes to things such as what can you advertise, what can you broadcast. And the FCC actually has strict rules about what advertisements you can play on a piece of content that's geared towards a child. And YouTube completely and utterly ignored these rules forever. They never paid attention to the law. They just ran whatever kind of ad they felt their algorithm deemed was worthy on a video that was catered towards a kid. So you would have ads on there that were for cars, ads that were on there for life insurance, ads that were on there, things that have nothing to do with kids. Well, guess what? Those are all blatant violation of the law. And because of that, YouTube got sued, and I believe it was just under $200 million they lost in this lawsuit that they had to pay as damages, and they were told in the ruling, you now have to make it so that people can't advertise on these videos anymore because you obviously don't have tools in place that are sufficient to make sure proper advertising is showing, so you lose, change your business. So they're being forced into this, okay? So it's a major change, and again, the question remains, what will be deemed children's content and what won't? No one knows. judging by the fact that YouTube usually doesn't do a good job with this kind of stuff, and the fact that YouTube will not be manually reviewing videos because they don't, they just use bots for everything, a lot of people are nervous. What happens if entire channels are just flagged as children's content and now you can't monetize anymore, right?
And I depend on ad revenue from YouTube to keep food on the table, to pay the bills, you know what I mean?
Right? There you go, that's number one. Number two, this is another major change, and this could affect not only me, but you as well, alright? There's a change to the terms of service of YouTube coming. I saw it yesterday. Someone posted it on Twitter, and I was like, wow. So essentially, what the new terms of service for YouTube are going to say are as follows. If you're not profitable for them, if you don't make YouTube money, they call it being commercially viable. They can delete your channel at any time for any reason, including not only your YouTube channel, but your Google account, and goodbye, and you have no recourse. Okay? What does that mean? That means that if you have a channel on YouTube and you just upload videos casually to it, they could delete it for no reason, just because they feel like it, because you're not making the money. That's really what the new terms of service say. Now, you might say, well, first of all, why is this happening? Well, I've been telling you guys about YouTube for years. YouTube doesn't draw profit. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is owned by a larger company called Alphabet. And essentially, YouTube has been a drain on the finances of Alphabet for the greater part of a decade. They don't make money at all. In fact, they lose money constantly. You know, okay, you have to think the cost of running all these servers to house all these videos, it has to be astronomical. That's why YouTube is the only website that's ever been able to do that. There's been other competitors to YouTube, like Blip.tv or the like, and they've never had the capabilities that YouTube has had because YouTube has that Google money, right? So, what I'm thinking is, finally, the bigwigs over at Alphabet are like, man, YouTube's a money pit.
That's like me, right? That's like me.
This place has been around forever, and all they do is drain money. They don't actually make us any profit. Why the hell are we still... Even though they're the top video sharing website on the internet, their business model isn't even viable. They don't make a profit, so why the fuck do we have it running like that? Okay? So the question is, what's really going to happen here? Alright? Is YouTube basically going to take a pruning tool and say, well, looks to us like the bottom 40-50% of uploaders don't make any money. So we're just going to close all their channels and tell everyone, hey, if you're not have no plans to monetize your channel... you're out of here. We're not going to give you web space to put your videos up because we just decided we need to make money. So, that's it. Goodbye. If that's the case, that means that the entire model of what YouTube was meant to be is done. It used to be a place where you could, any person with no backing, meaning no publisher, no producer, no one to toss money their way, could still make a creative work, put it on the internet, and get noticed, and get popular, and therefore become a way to make a living by sharing your creativeness. Because you don't have that financial backing, YouTube was the way to do it. Essentially, though, what they're saying now is, well, that doesn't work anymore. We realized that that model isn't profitable. We can't maintain that business model anymore, and therefore we're changing our whole business model to be something different, and if you don't like it, oh well, that's the end of everything. So I have some mixed feelings about this. First of all, obviously, for those of you who don't monetize your channels, and you have stuff on YouTube that you want to continue to exist, I understand how this is insanely disconcerting. You're probably nervous as shit. You're like, what the hell? This is true? They could just delete my channel? Yeah. Truth of the matter, though, is that YouTube could have done that anyway. Like, at any point, YouTube could just delete your channel and just make up some bullshit reason. I mean, look at all the things that they've done, to me.
Oh, the show's all about me. It's all about me.
Over the years, that were all horseshit. False copyright strikes, the Google Plus incident last year where they were getting rid of Google Plus and it created an error flagging people's videos for spam. You know, they've screwed my channels over multiple times for unlegit reasons. Like, they didn't even mean to do it and they fucked up my channel. Now, for the first time, they're basically flexing their muscles and saying, well, we can actually actively destroy your channel whenever we want. It's well within our means. You might say, for me, is this something that's going to freak me out and make me nervous? Not really. And I'll explain why. I do monetize DsP Gaming, and as you guys know, I mention all the time, it doesn't make me nearly as much money as it used to. It's true. Like, the truth of the matter is, right now, what I make, money-wise, okay, on DsP Gaming, is about 1/10 what it used to be. That's not an exaggeration at all. I know every year I mention this, and I say it's lower. This year, I'm making about 1/10 on YouTube what I used to make back when I used to do YouTube for a living, okay? Just think about that. Same amount of work, I make 1/10 as much. Imagine if you had a job and you went into it every day and worked your ass off, and over the years they just decided every year to pay you less, to pay you less, to pay you less, and then eventually they just decided they were going to pay you 1/10 of what you were once paid for the same work, right? That's pretty insane, huh? So just think about that. Just think about that. So for me, if everything got ruined, would it affect me negatively? Yes, it would. Absolutely. This is still 1/10 of my income or whatever, right? Like, it's still a chunk of my income. But it's not like the end of the world. Maybe what this would mean is that I would have to find other ways to raise some funds.
Ayúdame, por favor. Es muy importante. I need your help. I still need your help. I'm gonna need your guys' help. I really am. I'm gonna need your support. I need it. The money helps me out tremendously. $1 a month actually helps and adds up, all right? As little as $1 helps, okay?
Whether it's not uploading to YouTube anymore or whatever, I don't know. I don't know what would happen here, okay? If YouTube were to delete DSP Gaming, yeah, that would be awful. This is a channel that I've had for a decade at this point that has stored all of my gameplay, you know, essentially my life's work of the last decade is on DSP Gaming. And if they just said overnight, oh, we're getting rid of DSP Gaming, we don't think that it's financially viable, I'd be like, wow, you guys are a bunch of fucking dickheads, but it's your business. I guess you can do whatever you want, right? Now, that being said, I'm not too worried about it. Reason being, DSP Gaming is monetized, and it does still make YouTube money. Doesn't make it a ton of money, no, but it still makes it money. So I'm thinking they're gonna, before they target a channel like mine, they're gonna target channels who are making zero, right? Versus a channel that is actually bringing in profit. So, we'll see what happens, okay? However, in regards to my older channels, like Darkside Phil, that was the original channel that I uploaded to from 2008 to 2010, before I made DSP Gaming. That's my oldest playthroughs on the internet. That channel isn't making any money. Or my vlogging channel, DsP Vlogging, which has been around now for the upwards of 5+ years. And I've been uploading vlogs to, as you know, I barely upload any vlogs anymore. Maybe every other month I upload Ask the King. And that's about it, right? So, that's a channel that may definitely be in jeopardy if they say, oh, you've got all these videos on here, and, you know, they're not making much or any money. Or in the case of Darkside Phil, probably making no money. We just decided that's it. They're over. They're done with, right? Do you want to play the fucking game? And there's nothing I can do about that. And I hope that you guys understand that. Like, I continue to use YouTube as a way to make my content available to those of you who cannot be here for the live streams. And people made me known and famous on YouTube via my old on-demand content from back in the day. So that's why I continue to be there. I continue to upload the archives. I do it as a service to those who've been long-standing viewers and those who cannot make it to the streams. I want you guys to still be able to watch my content. I hope you understand that. But if YouTube takes it away from me, there's not much I can do. What I'd have to do is try to find somewhere else to upload my videos moving forward. And that's that. You know, there's not much, again, there's not much else that can happen. You know? So I guess we'll see what happens. It could be that that this doesn't affect me at all, and moving forward, there's zero negative impact. It could be that YouTube deems all my videos are only for children, which would be ludicrous because my content certainly is not PG enough for children. And it could be that they deem that my channels aren't profitable enough and they just delete them all overnight. Who knows what's gonna fucking happen, right? I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. I guess we have to see as these changes go into effect, okay? The good news is, as you know, I focus on being a streamer. I'm here every day, 6 days a week, full-time streaming, and the majority of the money that I make and the profit that I make comes from Twitch, not from YouTube. So it would be a hit, but it certainly wouldn't be, oh my god, I'm screwed, I can't do this anymore. You know, the sky is falling, but it certainly would be very, very sucky if all of my YouTube videos from over the years disappear overnight because some dickhead decides that my channels aren't financially viable enough anymore for them to make them enough money, right?
I don't care.
So it is what it is, alright? It is what it is. I just want to forewarn you guys. This is what people are talking about with these YouTube changes coming up, and I have no effect over them. If they happen, they happen. So I'm just forewarning all of you of these potential changes. Again, for those of you who maybe have YouTube channels who don't monetize, just FYI, these changes could affect you very shortly. Okay, guys?
Now it's more about the money than anything else. That's just the truth. It's just about the money. Someone named F to me $1 said, can I get some F's in the chat for Last Hope? He was real. Oh, I fully believe he was real. I believe that Last Hope is a real person, a fan of mine, who sadly passed away. I believe it. It's sad, you know. I'm glad that there are people who I help out in various ways, even if it's unintentional. I give someone some enjoyment and entertainment, you know, when they're otherwise having a really horrible time with their life. I hope that you know, that I can do that. You know, some people would say I'm just some asshole playing games on the internet. You're right. But sometimes some good comes out of it too, you know. Whether intentional or not. And I am grateful for that. That I have done some good things for people over the years. So Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone. Just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. That I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.